Here's how I explain the S&P 500 and why it's a little out of balance to my clients and prospective clients these days. I'm Jessica Lanning. I'm an independent certified financial planner. The S&P 500 index was created as an index. It is a way to have the nightly news, frankly, be able to reflect what is going on in the market in a very shorthand kind of way. And what they've done is they've taken 500 or so, actually it's about 507 companies, the largest ones that are trading on the New York Stock Exchange, and they have those companies' value being reflected in the S&P. And so in a perfect world, if you want to call it that, all of these companies, these are chocolate coins representing the different companies, all of these companies would hold somewhat of an equal share. But that's not really what happens in the S&P. The bigger companies get more of the index than the companies that don't have as much value. What has happened in the last couple of years is that really only a handful of stocks have been carrying the S&P. So the ones that you've heard of, Apple and Alphabet, Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, Nvidia, Tesla, like these are the companies that have really been driving this index. So people think that this is what the index looks like, but in fact, what it looks like is something more like this, where you've got a whole bunch of value up here in a very small number of companies. And so this doesn't really have the diversification that index investors think that they are actually getting. And the index itself is actually not accurately reflecting what's going on in the market, because those top 7 or top 5, or frankly now the top 3 companies are weighting that index and are reflecting higher returns than what really the overall index is doing. So it's not a great way to measure what's going on in the market anymore. It's also not a great way to get diversification if you're looking to do index investing. There needs to be more slicing and dicing that needs to be done to really have an understanding of what's going on in the market and how one should invest. So if you want to talk about diversification or how the S&P is balanced, please reach out. I'm Jessica Lanning. Lanning Does Planning.